It's June 8th, 2025. Listening to CBC radio, and they're talking about Canadian pride of having our own cars, and there was a few stories from the past, you know. But again, for me, the only new car I'd buy is, like, surprisingly, one I just saw go by. Well, it's got to be a fuel one. I wasn't sure. I didn't see EV signs on it, but it's a 2016 or 17 smart car, which is, as I said, the best engine, frame, and design for a car, but with stupid Mercedes technology that I ever drove. And I got screwed by Mercedes, among other people, in owning it. For example, being very clear with them, I would remove a seat, and they still would never give the code to reset that the airbags worked after I removed the seat. So it's them breaking an agreement and making it unsafe for me to keep the car, so I had it put on a towing. Now, is there an organization that exists that would truly provide me justice for big car companies breaking contracts? With the Volkswagen, as I negotiated a particular deal, and when it's time to sign it and pick it up, is they put a different product for insurance on it. Not at all what I talked about. And then I complain, and then they say I hurt this 300-pound guy feelings by complaining. The guy that lifted me and was so happy during the day of the sale. And the thing is he a grown-up because he can lift me? Nope. Not any more than his supervisor is, for not solving the issues and just saying, "Hey, you heard the feeling of our 300-pound friend who's really strong." And Chrysler, that was in 2000 in Ottawa. I decided not to work for an unethical driving school anymore. Reported it to police. Nope, they didn't do anything. Still in business, that school. The thing is most are like that, it turns out, and every 10 years, the news shows article of, oh, this is happening in Ontario with driving schools and insurance, whatever. I'm tired of hearing things that you guys can't solve. I'll get back to the point of smart car soon. So, by the way, I kind of need to take more modafinil to compensate for the fatigue that my digestion issues are causing. I've been leaking a lot of blood again the last week. Still no response for a new doctor, because the first one I didn't think did a good job. He just rushed through the procedure. And I don't think he cares, because there's always a waiting list for him as he's retiring. That makes him feel good, not quality of work, but being in demand, right? I'm not in demand because I do quality of work. So anyway, the Chrysler thing was a neon. And, when I didn't have that job, or I tried another driving school, they're also, man, that other driving school's in the news, being interviewed with a journalist in his car as he's driving poorly, describing how he's an expert of driving. Yeah, I don't think I want to associate my reputation to that. So I put my car for sale, 2000 neon. And there's a guy who wants to buy it. And he has, I think he's still in school, but he has a part-time job. But both his parents would co-sign, and they have full-time jobs. So that's 2.5 jobs when I have 0 jobs. But because they haven't been in Canada long enough, they refused them. So then it's repossessed. So a sheriff acts like a jerk at my door, like I'm the bad guy for living by human standards. Now, do you think society, the proto-society that we are, has improved any time since then? No, it's worse. I mean, car companies are doing worse and worse. But getting back to the smart car thing, is I think China maybe bought the rights to that car. But I tell you, that engine, the fuel engine, was so efficient, more than my motorcycle, and it was a smaller motorcycle engine, especially like on the highway, and safer to ride, that smart car, And of course, a lot more practical than the electric one. And of course, if you compensate with the dangerous concepts of, not everywhere, but still not solved, but the mining required for the batteries, as opposed to such a well-designed engine, if you put the right quality fuel in it, that smart car was, is I would like Canada, if CARNEY would I say, hey, what do we do with automobile industry? Well, first of all, do a survey of how many people are stuck in traffic and how many people are in the cars. Like, let's say in Toronto or Vancouver, and how big their cars are. No matter they use fuel or are totally EV, but you know, the footprint in raping the earth to make these bigger cars that go on the road with hardly anybody in them most of the time is, again, I would say the smart car 2016-17 gasoline one, where you put the supreme fuel at least 91 octane. That's the best car that we've ever come up with as a species, and yet we're too dumb. So we have to admit, not just, hey, we're going to evolve. No, we're going to address why we're devolving and challenge ourselves to bring back something that should have already been the most common car on the road.